My name is Lauren Hayes. I'm 29 years old. 3 months ago, my husband stood in our bedroom doorway with my suitcase in one hand and his phone in the other. And he said the words that ended everything we'd built in 6 years. That baby isn't mine. I want you out by morning. I was 14 weeks pregnant. I'd been throwing up for an hour. I had my ultrasound photos in my hand, the ones we'd gotten that afternoon. The ones where you could see the baby's profile for the first time. Tyler, what are you talking about? He didn't look at me. He looked at his phone, at whatever his brother had just sent him, at the math someone else had done for him. The dates don't work, Lauren. I was in Denver the whole week you got pregnant. Corporate training. You know that. I stood there in our bedroom, the room we'd painted together, the house we'd bought when we got married, and I watched my husband decide. I was a liar based on a text message and a calendar he didn't bother to double check. Tyler, you came home early from that trip. Wednesday night. You don't remember. No, I didn't. You did. You. Get out. He set the suitcase down, walked past me, and I heard the guest room door close. Not slam, close, like I was already a problem he'd handled. By 7 a.m. the next morning, the locks were changed. My key didn't work. My car was still in the garage, but the garage door wouldn't open. And when I called him, it went straight to voicemail. 24 hours later, a courier walked into his office at the engineering firm where he's a project manager and handed him an envelope with a lab logo on it, DNA results, and the look on his face when he opened it. I wasn't there to see it, but 5 people were, including his boss. Welcome back to Revenge Camera Stories, where the truth always develops, even when people try to keep it in the dark. If you've ever been accused of something you didn't do by someone who should have known better, this story's for you. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever had to prove your innocence to someone who was supposed to trust you? And hit subscribe, because what Tyler did in the 24 hours after those results arrived is something you won't want to miss. Let me back up to the week before, because that's when the lie started. It was a Tuesday. October 3rd, I remember because it was our 6-year anniversary, and I'd made reservations at the Italian place where Tyler proposed. I'd taken the pregnancy test that morning. 3 of them, actually. All positive. I was excited, nervous. We'd been talking about kids for a year, and we'd stopped being careful about 3 months before. I wrapped the tests in tissue paper and put them in a little box. I know, it's corny, but I wanted it to be special. At dinner, I slid the box across the table. Tyler opened it, looked at the tests, and for a second, just a second, I saw something that wasn't joy. He smiled. He said all the right things. This is amazing. I can't believe it. We're having a baby. But his voice was off, like he was reading lines. I told myself I was imagining it, that he was just surprised, that men process differently. We finished dinner, went home, and that night, Tyler stayed up late on his laptop in the living room. When I asked what he was doing, he said, just work stuff. The next morning, he left for the gym before I woke up. When he came back, he was on his phone, texting someone. And when I asked who, he said, just my brother. Tyler's brother, Evan, is 32, single, works in finance. Thinks every woman is either trying to trap a man or cheat on one. He's the kind of guy who sends those Instagram posts about paternity fraud and calls it staying woke. I didn't think much of it then. I should have. That Thursday, I had my first ultrasound. 12 weeks. The text said everything looked good. She printed photos. I cried. I sent one to Tyler with the caption, "Can't wait for you to meet them." He texted back 3 hours later. Just a thumbs up emoji. That Friday, he worked late. Saturday, he went to his parents' house without me. Said I should rest. Sunday, he went to the hardware store and came back with nothing. By Monday, I knew something was wrong. But I didn't know what. Not until Tuesday night. I was in the bathroom. Morning sickness doesn't care what time of day it is. And at 14 weeks, I was still getting hit hard. I'd been throwing up for 20 minutes when I heard Tyler's phone buzz in the bedroom. Then I heard him pick it up. Heard him say, "Yeah, hold on." When I came out, he was sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at his screen. "Tyler?" He looked up. His face was blank empty, like I was a stranger. "When exactly did you get pregnant?" I blinked. "What?" "The doctor said you're 14 weeks. That means you conceived around mid-July, right?" "I guess. I don't know the exact." I was in Denver the entire second week of July. Corporate training. I left on a Sunday. I didn't come back until the following Sunday. 7 days. I sat down on the bed. My legs felt weird. "Tyler, you came home Wednesday night. You said the training ended early. You surprised me. We went to that taco place on Westwood." "No, we didn't." "Yes, we did." "You." He turned his phone toward me. On the screen was a calendar, July, the week in question. And in Evan's handwriting, screenshots of Tyler's credit card statement. Hotel charges in Denver. Every night, including Wednesday. "Evan pulled my statements," Tyler said. "I was in Denver all week." "You're lying." "I'm not lying." "You came home Wednesday." "I'm telling you." "Then whose baby is it?" The room tilted. I actually felt it tilt. "What?" "If I wasn't here and you're pregnant, then whose is it?" "Tyler, it's yours." "You came home." "I'm not." "Stop." He stood up. "Just stop. I've been thinking about this all week. And it doesn't add up. Lauren, the timeline doesn't work." Evan did the math. "You're 14 weeks. That's mid-July. And I wasn't here." Evan did the math. My voice went up. "Tyler, Evan hates me. He's been waiting for something like this since we got married. He's trying to protect me." "From what?" "From your own wife. From your own baby." Tyler walked to the closet, pulled out my suitcase. The big one. The one I use for work trips. "I need you out tonight. You're kicking me out. I can't look at you right now." "Tyler." "Please, Lauren, just go." I should have fought harder. I should have screamed. I should have made him listen. But I was 14 weeks pregnant and exhausted, and standing in a room with a man who just decided I was a cheater based on his brothers, screenshots, and math he didn't bother to verify. I started packing. At midnight, I carried my suitcase to the guest room. Tyler had already locked himself in our bedroom. At 6:30 a.m., I woke up to a text. "Locks are changed. Don't come back until we figure this out." I tried my key. It didn't work. I tried calling, voicemail. I sat in my car in our driveway. Pregnant, locked out of my own house. And I did something I hadn't done since my dad died. I called my mom. My mom lives 40 minutes away in a townhouse she bought after my parents divorced. She's a paralegal, practical, tough, not the warm and fuzzy type. But she shows up. "Mom, Tyler locked me out." Silence. "Then what?" I told her everything. The accusation. The dates. Evan's involvement. The suitcase. When I finished, she said, "Where are you right now?" "In the driveway." "Stay there." She showed up 37 minutes later in her SUV, still in her work clothes from the day before. She got out, looked at the house, looked at me. "Get in." I did. She drove me to her place without saying a word. When we got inside, she pointed to the couch. "Sit." I sat. She disappeared into her office. I heard her on the phone. I heard the printer. Then she came back out with a folder. Okay, here's what we're doing. First, you're staying here. Second, we're getting a DNA test. Not later. Today, theirs. A lab 20 minutes from here. That does rapid paternity testing. 72-hour turnaround, but we're paying extra for 24. Mom, I don't need. Yes, you do. Her voice was sharp. Not because I don't believe you. Because Tyler doesn't, and you're not begging him to trust you. You're showing him he was wrong. Big difference. She sat down next to me. Softer now. Lauren, guys like Evan, they get in men's heads. They make them paranoid. And once a man decides he's been wronged, he doesn't listen to words. He listens to proof. So we're getting proof. What if Tyler won't take the test? My mom smiled. The scary smile. The one I'd seen her use in court. He doesn't need to take it yet. You're already pregnant. The baby has DNA. We test the fetal DNA in your blood. It's non-invasive. It's accurate. And when the results come back, we hand them to him in a way he can't ignore. I stared at her. How? You leave that to me. The lab was in a medical plaza near thee. Freeway, clean, quiet, the kind of place that does paternity tests, drug screens, and employment physicals without asking questions. My mom had called ahead. When we walked in, the receptionist already had the paperwork ready. Ms. Hayes, we're doing the non-invasive prenatal paternity test, correct? Yes. And do we have a sample from the alleged father? My mom pulled something out of her purse. A small Ziploc bag. Inside was Tyler's toothbrush. I looked at her. When did you? You left the side gate unlocked, she said. I grabbed it this morning while you were in the shower. The tech took the bag, took my blood, told us results would be ready by tomorrow afternoon. As we left, my mom handed me a bottle of water. Drink, you're dehydrated. How do you know? Because you've been crying for 6 hours and I raised you. Drink. I drank. That night, I stayed on her couch. Couldn't sleep. Kept checking my phone. Tyler hadn't called. Hadn't texted. At 2 a.m., I opened Instagram. Tyler's account was private now. He'd blocked me. I checked Evan's public and right there. Posted 4 hours ago. Sometimes the truth hurts. But real men protect each other. I screenshot it. Sent it to my mom. She replied immediately. Good, he's building your case. Wednesday. The longest day of my life. I called in sick to work. I teach 2nd grade, and there was no way. I could stand in front of 20 kids and pretend my world wasn't falling apart. My mom went to work but checked in every hour. 10 a.m., drinking water. Noon, eat something. 2 p.m., lab said results are processing. Should have them by 4. At 3:47, my phone rang. A known number. Ms. Hayes, this is Sandra from Precision DNA Labs. Your results are ready. Would you like us to email them or would you prefer to pick them up? Email, please. Sent and Ms. Hayes. Congratulations. I didn't understand what she meant until I opened the file. The report was 2 pages. Medical language, percentages, genetic markers. And at the bottom, in bold, probability of paternity, 99.97%. Tyler Hayes is the biological father. I read it 3 times. Then I called my mom. I have the results. And it's his. She didn't sound surprised. Good, send them to me. I'll handle the rest. What are you going to do? I'm going to make sure. Tyler sees them in a room full of people who'll remember what he accused you of. Mom. Trust me, honey. Men like him don't apologize in private. They save face. This way, he can't. Thursday morning, 9:15 a.m. My mom hired a courier service. Not regular mail. A courier. The kind that requires a signature. She had the DNA results printed on lab letterhead. sealed in a precision DNA lab's envelope, placed inside a larger priority envelope with Tyler's name and his office address on it. Then she paid extra for morning delivery, direct to recipient, in person. At 9:47 a.m., I got a text from the courier company with a photo. Tyler's signature. Timestamp delivered. My mom called. It's done. Now what? Now we wait for him to call. He will give him an hour. 43 minutes later, my phone rang Tyler. I let it ring 4 times. Then I picked up. Lauren, his voice cracked. I'm so sorry. I hung up. He called back. I didn't answer. He texted. Please, I need to talk to you. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Please call me back. I didn't. My mom texted. How many times has he called? 3. Could let him sit in it. At 11, Tyler called again. This time I answered. What? Lauren, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I got the results. I don't even know what to say. Where did you get them? They were delivered to my office. In front of my boss and half my team. Everyone saw. Lauren, I feel like. You feel like what, Tyler? Embarrassed. Good. Silence. I know I messed up. I know I should have trusted you. But Evan. My voice was cold, flat. Don't blame. Evan, you're a grown man. You made the choice. You looked at your wife, pregnant with your baby, and you decided I was lying. You changed the locks. You kicked me out. That wasn't Evan, that was you. I know, you're right. I'm staying at my mom's, don't. Call me again unless you're ready to do more than apologize. I hung up. My mom was watching from the kitchen. Proud of you. I don't feel proud. I feel exhausted. That's what standing up for yourself feels like at first. Give it time. Tyler's office is a mid-sized engineering firm. 20 employees. Open floor plan. His boss, Richard, has an office with glass walls. According to Tyler's coworker, Jenna, who I'd met at the Christmas party and who texted me that. Afternoon, here's what happened. When the courier arrived, Tyler was in a meeting. Glass conference room. 6 people. The courier walked up to the door, knocked, and said, "Delivery for Tyler Hayes, signature required." Tyler stepped out, signed, took the envelope. The courier left. Tyler looked at the return address. DNA lab logo. Jenna said his face went white. He walked back into the conference room. Sat down, set the envelope on the table. Richard asked, "Everything okay?" Tyler said, "Yeah, just lab results." But he didn't open it. Not there. He waited until the meeting ended. Then he went to the bathroom. And that's where he opened it. Jenna said he came out 10 minutes later looking like he'd been hit by a truck. He walked straight to Richard's office, closed the door, and apparently, based on what Richard told another manager, he broke down. "I accused my wife of cheating. The baby's mine. I kicked her out. I changed the locks." Richard, who's been married 30 years, reportedly said, "Then you better figure out how you're getting her back. Because that story's already spreading." And it was. By noon, everyone in the office knew. By 3 p.m., Tyler's mom called me. Carol Hayes, my mother-in-law, 62, retired teacher. Sweet woman. Loves her sons. Loves me. "Lauren, honey, what on earth is going on?" I told her. All of it. The accusation. The lockout. The test. The delivery. She was quiet for a long time. Then Evan did this. Evan helped. But Tyler made the choice. That boy she wasn't talking about. Tyler, Evan has been poisoning him 4 years. Ever since you'd got engaged. He told Tyler you were too good for him, that you'd leave eventually, that women always do. Why didn't you say something? I tried, but Evan's his little brother, and Tyler's protective of him, even when he shouldn't be. Well, now Tyler's paying for it. Carol sighed. What do you need from us? I need Tyler to figure out who he trusts, me or Evan, because I'm not doing this again. Understood. That night, Carol called Tyler. I don't know what she said, but whatever it was, Tyler showed up at my mom's house at 8 p.m. with flowers, tears, and a letter he'd handwritten on legal paper. My mom answered the door, looked at him, looked at the flowers. She doesn't want those. I know, can I please talk to her? She's not ready. Tyler's voice broke. I ruined everything. I know I did. But I need her to know I'm sorry. My mom held up one hand. You don't get to need anything right now. You accused her of the worst thing you can accuse a spouse of. You humiliated her. You locked her out of her own home while she was pregnant. Sorry doesn't fix that. Then what does? Time, space, and proof that you've cut Evan out of your marriage. Tyler's face changed. What? You heard me. Evan is the reason you're standing on this porch instead of inside with your wife. And until you deal with that, nothing else matters. She closed the door. Tyler stood there for a minute. Then he left. Friday morning. I woke up to 17 missed calls. 12 from Tyler, 5 from Evan. I called Tyler back. Did Evan call you? He asked. Yeah. Don't answer. I blocked him. I sat up. What? I blocked him. On everything. Phone, Instagram, email. I told him I don't want to hear from him until he apologizes to you. Tyler. No, Lauren. My mom was right. Evan's been in my head since we got engaged. And I let him. I let him make me doubt you. I let him turn me into someone who'd lock his pregnant wife out of her own house. That's on me. But it stops now. I didn't say anything. I'm not asking you to forgive me, he continued. I'm just asking you to let me prove I'm not that guy. The guy who believed Evan over you. I want to be better. I want to be the husband you thought you married. I don't know if I can trust you again. I know. But I'm going to spend however long it takes showing you that you can. I didn't move back in right away. I stayed at my mom's for 3 weeks. Tyler and I did counseling. Twice a week. With a therapist who specialized in betrayal and rebuilding trust. It was hard. There were sessions where I cried so hard I couldn't talk. Sessions where Tyler had to sit with how much he'd hurt me, without defending himself. But slowly, things shifted. He started showing up. Not with flowers or apologies, but with action. He changed his work schedule so he could drive me to every doctor's appointment. He set up the nursery by himself. He wrote me a letter every week explaining what he was learning in therapy. And he kept Evan blocked. Evan tried to reach out through their parents, through mutual friends. Tyler didn't budge. At week 4, Tyler's dad called me. I don't agree with cutting off family, but I respect that Tyler's putting you first. That's what a husband should do. At week 5, I moved back in. Not because everything was fixed, but because I wanted to try. At week 6, we had another ultrasound. 20 weeks. We found out we're having a girl. Tyler cried through the whole appointment. That night, lying in bed, he said, I'm going to tell her this story one day. When she's old enough. I'm going to tell her I almost lost her mom because I didn't trust her. And I'm going to make sure she knows that was the worst mistake I ever made. You don't have to do that. Yes, I do. Because I need her to know that people mess up. And what matters is what you do after. It's been 3 months since the lockout. I'm 26 weeks pregnant. We're painting the nursery yellow. Tyler picked the color. Said it's the color of hope. We're still in therapy. Probably will be for a while. Trust doesn't rebuild in a few months. But we're trying. Evan and Tyler haven't spoken. Carol told me Evan reached out through a lawyer last month, asking Tyler to co-sign a loan. Tyler said no. My mom still doesn't like Tyler, but she respects that he's putting in the work. She told me last week, I'm watching him, and so far, he's showing up. That's all I can ask. As for me, I'm not the same person I was 3 months ago. I'm harder. I'm less willing to shrink myself to make someone comfortable. And I've learned that sometimes the people who love you will hurt you not because they're evil, but because they're human and scared and listening to the wrong voices. Tyler made a choice. He chose his brother's paranoia over his wife's word. And that choice cost him 3 weeks of his daughter's development, 3 weeks of our marriage, and the easy trust we used to have. But he also made another choice. To own it, to cut out the poison. To show up every single day and do the work. I don't know if we'll make it. I hope we do. But if we don't, it won't be because I didn't give him a chance. It'll be because some broken things don't glue back the same. Thank you for staying with me through this one. I know it's heavy. I want to ask you something. If you were me, would you have gone back? Or would you have walked away? Drop stay or leave in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you think.